Hello, I'm going to summarize how groups work and then explain a technique that is used along with grouping data, which is the having clause. But first of all, how groups work. Starting with a table of data, you might make a query like this, select some columns and some calculations. So job, a column, but also counting, summing, calculations from the table using some where criteria, and finally grouping the data. That gets us some results organized according to the group we asked for. Now how that works, let's break it down a little to understand what that is made of. Same starting table, but we'll look at how the query is executed by the machine. First, the system picks up the correct table. There's the table in question, all of it. Then within that table, it will exclude the rows that we are not interested in. So not president, there it goes. And then group the data. What does grouping mean? Well, it means that the data will be formed into those different groups. I haven't got the full data here, but there's more of it, but that's the same sort of thing. Hard to see how it finishes, but then each group is going to be counted, etc. So let's see how the counting works. From each group we want the job, which we can do because we have grouped by job. Then how many in each, and the total salary in each. And then job, comma, count, as I've left space here, we'll rename the count as employees. That gives us new titles. So this gives you an idea how grouping works, and you can see something we were saying earlier, which is that we group by what we are not counting. We're not counting job, we're not summing it or anything like that, and so we group according to it. Now let's see the idea of the having clause. Having is a little bit similar to where. Let me show you an example. So here is the same query again with its result, and here it is again. Add to that a having clause. What's the purpose of having? It is to find among those results those that have a count of less than 4 employees. There is the result. So the purpose of having is to filter certain rows only after the groupings have happened, which where cannot do. Let's look again at how this might work. Here is a starting table. We carry out a query which groups by job, and there are the groupings. Having will exclude certain groups now that they have been made. The clerk and salesman groups. It's not very obvious here that there are 4 clerks and 4 salesmen, but there are. The full data isn't in that screenshot, leaving us with just the 2 analysts and the manager. So that's where the difference comes up between having after grouping and where before. It takes practice to become familiar with that. Once you start doing it in some practical setting, it's not that bad.